Very good morning, students. Last class we had finished components of database management, then concept, database views, tree schema architecture. So I told you that I might revise, so I'm just giving a brush up of database views and tree schema architecture with you. Now, first of all, what is a view? A view is a collection, a DBMS is a collection of interrelated data and the set of programs that enable multiple users to access, modify, share and process it simultaneously. Now, what is the concept of a view actually? View is the one which the users generally sees it, or we can say the DBA forces data abstraction in database systems by defining data views in 3 levels. That means you can view data from 3 different levels. First is called the logical view, external view. External view is the uppermost view where the users can view the DBMS, and internal or physical view. These views provide a threefold benefit, means 3 types of benefits it provides. First of all, it provides an abstract view of data. Secondly, it hides the complexity from users. Third, it simplifies user interaction with the DBMS. Now let's come one by one. The first, let's take up the innermost level or the last level, that is the physical level. It is the lowest level of abstraction that focuses on how data is actually stored. And the logical level, it describes 2 things. First, what data is stored in the database, and second, the relationships that exist among the data. Next, we come to the external level. External level is the every user which sees it, that is called the external level or external view. Sometimes we might interchange the word level and view. Here every user is concerned with a part of data in the database. External view is the next higher level of abstraction, which is the sum total of users' views. So this is general about the views. Next, we talked about the tree schema architecture. Schema means the database design. Why tree schema? Here also we will talk about, we'll use the same terms but we'll use the word schema. One is called the physical schema, one is called the logical schema, and one is the external schema. Physical schema describes the design of the database at the physical level. It incorporates the lowest level details that are hidden below the logical schema and describes the physical storage structure of the database. And what is logical schema? It describes the database design at the logical level. The schema is often used by the application developers and programmers to develop applications. Now, what about the external schema? From the name external, you can understand it is just the outside one, that is the external part. It is also known as the user's views, which is given at the external level. It describes a part of the database as per the user's requirements and hides the rest of the database from the user. That means the user is no way concerned what is in the physical schema and what is in the logical schema. So this is all about the schema in brief. Today we are going to start about the models. So here, what is a model actually? Any model is actually a representation of reality that will depict the real world objects and their associations. So when we come to the word database model, a database model is therefore designed to provide the basic concepts and notations to enable application programmers, database designers, and end users to communicate their understanding of the organizational data unambiguously and accurately. That means whenever we are talking about the database model, the basic concepts, what are the notations given to help the application programmers, the designers, end users, that they can communicate their understanding with the organizational data accurately. Now it has 3 parts, 3 aspects. First is the data, That means what are the data involved in that model, what are the relationships that exist between the data, and what are the constraints on that data. So what are the hindrances or constraints which should be imposed on that data. So these three things are there which will describe a database model. Now for this particular thing, or to describe a proper database model, you see a database model will comprise the following components: a structural part that specifies rules for developing the database, a manipulative part. Manipulative means which you can change, you can carry out some operations. It defines the types of operations that can be performed on the data, including those that change or access data or changes the structure of the database. So one is the structural part, next part is the manipulative part, which will define what kind of operations you can do it or carry out on the data. Next, third one, very important, integrity rules to ensure that a data is accurate. That is, some integrity rules will learn data integrity. We have talked about data integrity a number of times. In DBMS, this integrity, certain rules are there which ensures the data is accurate. Now, what is the purpose of a database model? The purpose of a database model is to represent the data and to make it understandable. So, this is the objective or the purpose behind a database model. Now, there are various kinds of database models used. First is called the hierarchical model. Each model will have some features, its advantages as well as disadvantages. First is the hierarchical model. Next is the network model. Third is the relational model. And fourth is the object-oriented data model. Object-oriented data model will be touching in brief. But these three types of models, we have to cover it in detail. So let's start from the hierarchical model. What is a hierarchy? If we try to find out what is a hierarchy, that means it is a tree-like manner which is arranged. Hierarchy lies in a company. If you see the organizational structure in a company, it's suppose vice president, it starts from president, vice president, then senior managers, staff, like this. This could be different, the designations could be different from orchestras. I'm giving you the rough layout how a organizational structure or the hierarchical structure in an office could be. Hierarchy means it follows a top-down approach, that is called a hierarchy. Who comes first, who is then below that, all these things. Now the hierarchical data model organizes data in a tree-like manner. It forms a hierarchy of parent and child. That means a parent will have children. It could be 2 children, it could be 3 children. At the top of the root, data element, and below it there are subordinate elements. So like if I consider students, suppose if I say, now if I break this down, student if I consider to be a parent data, undergraduate students, postgraduate student. Now undergraduate student is a child of student, postgraduate student is also a child of student. Now again if I break down undergraduate students, BBA, BCA, BTech. Similarly for postgraduate students if I say MBA, MCA, MTech. So I am further classifying the child data elements. So when it cannot be further broken, that means that is the last broken down of the hierarchy, or the last data elements of the hierarchy. Now each of the subordinate elements may have its own subordinate elements and so on. The tree can have the subordinate elements and they'd have multiple levels. The data elements in the hierarchical database have a parent-child relationship in which a parent can have n number of child data elements. It is not that I am breaking the students into two, like here I have just now mentioned undergraduate student, postgraduate. It could be some more also. Here I have broken down into two levels, two parts, one level, two parts. Like again undergrad I have broken down into 3 data elements, BBA, BCA, BTech. Similarly MBA, MCA, MTech. It could be more also, it could be 5 also. So n child data elements, but a child data will have only one parent. This is very important. This means there is a 1 to n mapping from the parent data element to the child data element. Okay. Now hierarchical database allows related records to be grouped together to form a parent-child relationship. The parent data element collects information that is common to all the child records of the same group. This helps in reducing data redundancy from in the database. So what I see, the parent data element will collect information that is common to all the child records of the same group. This helps in reducing data redundancy in the database. Now, what could be the advantage of a database? Many applications use a hierarchical database. For example, census data organized by state, within state by city, within city by zip code, etc. Its features lay down the foundation of other data models. Third advantage, since data access is quite predictable, data retrieval, that means the data extraction part and update operations, can be highly optimized by the DBMS. So these are roughly the advantages of a hierarchical data model. So you see, every model or every feature will have some advantages, some disadvantages. That is why we move to some other model. So what could be the disadvantage of this hierarchical model? It does not support flexible data access. Since data can be accessed only by following paths formed by branches of the tree structure, the database designer must determine all types of relationships among data elements and map them properly in a tree structure. It follows a complicated implementation pattern. It is difficult to manage because of this hierarchical nature only. It lacks structural independence. Independence means structurally we cannot break down separately, and because see, BBA is dependent on UG students. UG students has the parent student. So structurally they are not independent, they are dependent on its parent. It lacks standards. It is difficult to expand or modify the database. Any change in the structure requires substantial redesigning efforts. So this probably involves a huge amount of cost. That is why it is disadvantageous. The hierarchical data model consists of a set of records connected to one another through links. The link is an association between two or more records. So these are all about hierarchical model. Now what is a network model? Network model has been derived from the basic hierarchical model only. The network model is a powerful yet complicated extension of the hierarchical database. Why? Because it has the following features. Following features means, what are the features? Data is represented by a collection of records. Relationships among data are represented by links. Each record of a particular record type represents a node. So how do we do that? Again, let me sum up the features. Data is represented by a collection of records. Relationships among data are represented by links. Each record of a particular record type represents a node. In the network model, the nodes will not be linked to each other in a hierarchy. Each node might be connected to some other node or vice versa. Hierarchical model, they just follows an organizational tree-like structure, but in the network model, it organizes in the form of graphs. Like suppose if I say, instead of undergraduates and postgraduates, if I compare it with subjects, like suppose if I say subjects to be the root node, and then suppose I say data warehousing, data structure, programming, microprocessors, networks. These are different subjects of the students. So subjects I can break down into his. And now if I form some specialization course like degrees, BSc, BTech, MSc, MCA, BCA, MTech. Now you see, certain subjects or certain courses are taken up in some degrees. That means, suppose if I consider data structure is taken up by BSc, it is taken up in BCA also. It is also taken in MCA also. So they are networks. So data structure is taken up BSc, BCA as well as MC or MCA. Again, if I consider programming is taken by BTech, programming is taken by MCA, programming is taken by BCA, programming is taken by some other subjects also. So these are all interconnected. It is not that it follows a hierarchical structure, it is networked. So they are connected together. So we can say they are networked. So parent data element can have many child data elements, and a child data element can have many parent data elements. Therefore, the network model supports many-to-many relationships in data. Now, here subjects will be the, which I just talked about, subjects will be the root data element. It has child data elements such as the different names of subjects which I just mentioned. So the child data elements have further child elements like the different degrees, BSc, BTech, MCA, MSc, MCA and MTech. So the different connections show that many-to-many relationships exist among data elements. So in the network model, we can sum it up as a child can have multiple parents. So what are its advantages? It helps in efficient and high-speed data retrieval. It enables database designer to incorporate more relationship types. It provides easy data access. So these are the few advantages of a network model. What are the disadvantages? The database created using the network model has a complex structure. Why complex? Because you see here there is no one link. There could be multiple links between parent and children. So more networking, more complex. Second point, the database designers, administrators, programmers, they must have a knowledge of the internal data structures to access the data. So in short, we can say it is not that user friendly. Third disadvantage when we talk about, you say it is difficult to modify the database structure because any change will require the application programs to be modified before they can access the data. So many work or so much of effort is involved in modifying the entire database structure. So this is a very disadvantageous point in terms of handling the database or using the database in a network model. Then it is very difficult to maintain all the links. Even a single broken link can be a big source of problem through a database. Suppose one link between the subjects and the degrees have been cut off. That means we cannot establish the link with that subject is taught by which. So to establish the link, we have to again first modify the application programs before we can access its data. Next comes, there is no strict bound on the number of relationships that can exist. The database design can become even more complex. The more connection, the more complex it is, and hence more costly it is. So after this network and hierarchical model, we come to another model, the very important model, which we'll talk about now, where most of the applications use this type of model. That is called the relational model. This only we'll discuss in more detail after we cover the different types of models. So what is a relational model? The relational model was actually developed by E.F. Codd in 1970. it had no physical links like what we had in hierarchical or network among the data elements. But data and the relationship that existing among those data will be represented using tables. These tables will be known as a relation. Like for student, now student will be represented using a table. Like in a table I'll write first column, I'll write roll number. In the initial first class I had told you that each data is represented inside a field, and field is mentioned in a column. Field means only column. So here when I talk about the relation student, I will have roll number one column, name another column, address another column, contact number another, likewise, and so on. So the features of relational model can be, we can just from this table we can gather and we can sum it up. A table will consist of rows and columns. Obviously when we are having columns we will have rows also, because if we don't have rows that means we are having only one record. Each row will store a record. A record represents an entity. Like suppose roll number 1, when we fill up all the details of all the columns, that becomes a complete record, one single record. Each row will be unique. Unique in the sense, as we talked about in file-oriented database approach, there could be multiple records. Here we will not have duplicate records. That is why redundancy is minimized. This redundant term we have used very often, or in the past also in file-oriented approach we have seen when we talked about the difference. In database approach, duplicate data is reduced. That means we are having unique records. So when we are having unique records means each row is unique. Each column, also called field, represents an attribute of that entity. Attribute means, what is an attribute? Attribute means it's a quality of an entity. Now let me first again tell you what is an entity actually. Although we'll come to these terms later on. Entity means, like suppose student I can call it as entity. Books can also be an entity. Fees can be also entity. So what is entity like? Entity is something which has physical existence. So anything which has physical existence is known as entity. Now when we describe an entity with certain characteristics, certain features or certain qualities, that is called an attribute. Like roll number, I said roll number for students. So roll number is one attribute. Name of a student, name is one attribute. Address is an attribute. So these are the attributes of the entity student. So each column, will also known as field, will represent one attribute of that particular entity. Each field will have a unique name. Obviously, roll number cannot be written twice in two different columns. Roll number will be written once only as a column heading. Means that field will store all the roll numbers of the student. A common attribute, that is not a physical link, is used to maintain a relationship between two tables. So the sequence of rows and columns is insignificant. Insignificant means that is not mandatory that after this you have to enter this record. So the sequence is insignificant. Now to give you an example of relational model, if I say one table consists of roll number, name, phone number, address. Now other table, a related field, contains roll number, course and year. Now if I have to get any information of a student from the second table, that is roll number, course and year, what will I have? I will have the link roll number, because that will take me to the primary table where the details of each roll number is given. Details means the name, phone number, address is given. So this roll number is the relationship, is bringing out that link between the two tables. Due to this roll number, we can search for a particular record in the second table. We are joining two tables based on the common attribute. So when we want to search, suppose roll number 1 studies which course, so I can refer to the second table. Roll number 1 is studying, suppose BCA is written over there. So whatever, you need to fill up some data. You cannot have empty tables. So when I'm talking about roll number, name, phone number, address, whether it's 5 records, 10 records, you need to have some records inside it. Similarly, the second table, which consists of roll number, course, year, that will also have data inside it. Now remember one thing, you cannot have any roll number which is actually not existing in the primary table. Primary table means where the roll number, name, phone number, address is stored. So here new roll number cannot be stored until unless it is stored there. These details will come later. Now what are the advantages of relational model? Advantages is this data model is simple to understand and use. Data access is simpler than any other models. It is more programmer friendly and therefore popular in both industrial and academic scenarios. Then it provides flexible data organization also. So many advantages we have come to know about the relational model. You might say that it is easy to understand in hierarchy model was also there. Yes, but that had involved some links. Here no physical links are involved. Here only we are linking with the form of tables. Next advantage could be like in future enhancements to the database, like adding a new table, row, field and so on, they can be easily done. Not only that, relational model is close to the intuitive or logical model of real life applications. So there are so many advantages as compared to the network and hierarchical model. Now then what could be the disadvantage? There are so many advantages. Obviously there should be at least one or two disadvantages also, because otherwise we would have not reached or we would have not gone to some other model. All types of data could not be represented using this model. For example, multimedia data, unstructured data, spatial data, temporal data. This type of data representation requires a different type of data model. That data model is known as object-oriented data model. So, although object-oriented model will not go into the details because that is not within your syllabus, we'll cover only till relational model, but I'll explain what is object-oriented data model. Object-oriented data model can be applied to database technology to create any object-oriented data, like in real-world objects or entities, constraints on them and relationships among objects. The OODBMS, that is object-oriented database, overcomes the shortcoming of relational, hierarchical and network data. That means whatever problem, little bit of problem we face between all these previous three models discussed, object-oriented data model covers those or overcomes those problems. This model can even store unstructured data like images, audio, video, and that can be used in complex applications. Some applications where they can be used are computer-aided design known as CAD, computer-aided engineering CAE, computer-aided manufacturing CAM, computer-aided software engineering, very important, CASE, expert systems, multimedia systems. Expert systems are actually usually in the form of AI, artificial intelligence. So those type of data can be well represented using the object-oriented data model. An object-oriented data model will support some concepts. Like what are the concepts? Like what is an object, what are its attributes and methods, what is a message, what is a class, the features of object-oriented programming, those part will be accommodated in this object-oriented data model. So what are the things we have seen? Hierarchical model, then comes the network model, which is just addition to hierarchical model with some more connections involved and little more complex. And third one, which is better than the previous two models, that is the hierarchical as well as the network model, it is called the relational model. Relational model, we have seen so many advantages are there with a small amount of disadvantage, and that small amount of disadvantage can be removed or eradicated with the help of object-oriented data model, where all the complex applications can fit in here. The type of data that fits in here are image data, audio data, video data, and these can be used in complex applications. So we see this object-oriented data model can fit in some complex type of data. Now we'll come to the different terms which we used in a relational